Hey, GLP-1 plus size community. Before we jump into the podcast, please take the time to leave us a 5-star review on whatever audio platform you're listening to the podcast on. Share your story and how the podcast has helped you. This will help us get referred up in the audio platform so that we can reach more people that need our help, our support, and guidance from our doctors. Help us get loud and change things.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Hey everyone, before we dive in, I really want to share something personal with you. About, I want to say like 8 to 10 months ago, after losing 100 pounds on GLP-1s and keeping it off for a long time, I started regaining out of nowhere, and I was terrified. But I also started having hot flashes and bouts of crying and snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m. unable to go back to sleep. It turns out I was in perimenopause. So I started hormone replacement therapy, which is also called HRT, through a telehealth called Winona that specializes in this. And it changed everything. And now I'm sleeping better. And my hot flashes are all but gone, thank God. And I feel like myself again. And it turns out that you can actually start perimenopause as early as 35. And well, I'm 46 and she's here. HRT has really come a long way and there's just no need to suffer anymore. So if you're like this and you're in the same boat, you can check out buywinona.com and you can use the link in our link tree to save some money.
Want the fastest working GLP-1? For half the price, Ro now offers FDA-approved weight loss injections cheaper. With results you can see faster. Lose 15% of your weight with the formula from Eli Lilly that hits not one, but 2 hormones to curb hunger and nausea. Weight loss faster. Confidence higher. Price cheaper. See if you qualify at ro.co/TV.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Well, hello there.
Hi.
How are you, Dr. Galindo? It's Galindo. I want to
Yeah.
make sure I always say it right because I
Dr.
start to
Galindo.
make it flow and I'm like, don't do it. How are you?
You're actually saying it correctly. So
Okay, good. It keeps freaking me out.
Yeah.
I've made that mistake before and now I'm all like paranoid about it on a podcast.
You're doing great. You're doing
I
Yay.
think I first said Galindo, but Galindo sounds, Galindo sounds
Galindo.
like, maybe I was still in my Midwestern accent mode or something.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
You know, Galindo. Oh, yeah.
Don't you know?
Oh, you know, don't you know? Well, we would love to understand a little bit more about you, who you are, and how you help people.
Okay, so I am a board certified internal medicine doctor, and I recently became obesity medicine certified as well. Before I became obesity medicine certified, I actually was a hospitalist. And I'm bringing that up because as a hospitalist, I used to take care of very sick patients. I actually worked during the pandemic, I was a hospitalist, so I was taking care of very sick COVID patients, a lot of which were obese or had diabetes, and people with obesity or diabetes actually were more affected by COVID than just a regular person. And so I made the decision after like a year or two of being in the pandemic that I didn't want to just take care of people that were at the end stage of their disease, and I wanted to work more in a preventative kind of space. So that's how I opened my clinic. And then I was already doing a lot of obesity medicine in my primary care clinic, so I got certified. And I mean, wow, like the way I've been changing my patients' lives by starting medication, I mean, it's been very rewarding for me because they always come in with a new non-scale victory. I myself want to share that I've also dealt with obesity in my life. So that's another reason why I'm very passionate about this, because I remember being 8 years old and being on a diet and, having to my mom would take me to aerobics classes so that I could work out. And I mean, I had a lot of issues with my weight most of my life. I did lose weight when I was about 19, 18. I lost about 100 pounds actually just with diet and exercise. But even though I maintained that weight loss for like about 10 years, looking back at that time, I really was working hard to maintain my weight loss. Like I was working out 2 hours a day. I was counting every calorie. I mean, I've done like every diet you can imagine, keto, Weight Watchers, Noom, like everything. And then I had kids. And then the weight just came back and I couldn't do anything about it. When I first read the data on like the New England Journal of Medicine had like an article about GLP-1 medications, I was like really impressed by all the data that was out there. And I had already been prescribing GLP medications for diabetes since 2014. So I was like, oh, I didn't realize that we could use these for just obesity because we had just been using them for diabetes for so long. And the more I learned about it, once I had my baby and he was a little bigger, I got on the medication myself. And I mean, I was blown away because that first time I took it and I woke up the next morning, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm full. Like I never thought that I would feel full because every time I would eat, I had to like will myself to like be like, okay, you're done. Put that away. I don't buy certain things in my house because I didn't want to eat them. So now I feel very normal because it's not like something weighing on me. So so I'm very passionate about helping people with their weight loss journeys, but not just like weight loss, just getting healthier. When I get their lab work in the beginning and I see like their lab work 6 months later, I'm like, wow, like everything looks better and they feel better. Like I had a patient that I saw last week and he was telling me how he stopped snoring. Like, a few months ago he was snoring and his wife was like so happy because now he doesn't snore, and he only lost some weight. And so I think just seeing and hearing like Pamela's story and everybody else's story, it just makes me so happy. I'm actually a pretty introverted person, so I never thought I would be doing social media, but lately I've been getting a little fired up and angry because I feel like a lot of my colleagues just don't get it.
Yeah,
Even
they
in the
don't.
medical community, there's a lot of gaslighting from physicians. I get that because I see it. I'm a part of a lot of physician groups and people will say things like, well, I don't want to prescribe these medications. And I'm like, would you ever say that to somebody with diabetes or somebody with high blood pressure? You wouldn't. Like, you would just give them the medication. We have the data. And so I feel like I really need to get into more advocacy because if my own colleagues are not on board, we're not going to fix this, right? So
This is the perfect place for you.
Yeah, we
I'm gonna
appreciate
blow you
that
up on
work.
TikTok.
Absolutely.
Oh, you got it now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really like I started doing it mainly because I started getting angry. Like I
Yeah.
felt like, wow, like my own colleagues don't get it, and that's a
Yeah.
problem because we're the ones who are gatekeeping the medication, and we should know better. And I think there's a lot of like how I read a comment last week, and one of the doctors was like, "Well, unless they can prove to me that they've done diet and exercise, I'm not prescribing it." And I thought that person probably knows more about diet and exercise than you ever will
Yeah.
Yes.
because they've already done it their whole life and failed
Yeah.
because their metabolism doesn't work the way that it should, right? Obesity is a very
Yeah.
complex disease where the signals of satiety and hunger are just not in balance. You don't know what it feels like to feel full. You're always hungry. You're always thinking about food. You're dealing with insulin resistance. And
Yeah.
I mean, just telling people to diet and exercise, that's just not the correct answer anymore.
No.
Yeah, ask them to live inside this body for a little, live inside this brain. I think
Yeah.
that would
Brain. That's what it comes down to,
comes to the
right?
brain.
It comes
Yeah.
down to the brain.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
even with bariatric surgery, yes, people lose weight because of that mechanical restriction that you have, but we don't ever fix what's up here. And so you see that a lot with people who've had surgery that they still gain the weight back.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Right. Well, and speaking of gaining the weight back, I have a technical question for you. And get this all started. What is the technical definition of obesity? And I know that all of us on this panel, we've all lost and gained and back, lost, gained back, lost, gained back. So why does that occur as well?
I think it's because once you've become obese, those signals in your brain that are supposed to tell you how to store energy, how to feel full, control your hunger, they're just all dysregulated. And even when, like, let's say you lose weight, like, there's a lot of hormones. Obesity is very complicated. And I think this is part of the reason that a lot of people don't want to understand it because they just
I
don't want
like that. She
time
said
to
complicated.
it. It's complicated, right? It's easier to say, oh, it's a willpower issue. You just don't exercise, you're lazy. Like it's a lot easier to make those assumptions than saying, okay, this is actually a very complex problem that's going on. You have inflammation going on, you have insulin resistance going on, you have all these hormones working. It's not just insulin, you have like leptin and ghrelin, adiponectin, like all these hormones that your adipose tissue is making. So like for instance, when patients lose weight, you're losing fat. And that fat is actually making hormones. And one of the hormones that it makes is leptin. So if you lose some of that fat, your levels of leptin are gonna go down. And leptin is the hormone that controls your satiety. So now you don't feel full, right? So yeah, you've done a great job losing weight and you've gone
And now
down,
you're hungry.
but now you can't, now you're hungry, right? And so you see how like all that work you did, you're gonna end up wanting to eat. So one of the things that's great about the medication is that it really quiets down and kind of makes these hormones more regular, and it allows you to actually be successful.
Yeah.
Wow.
Quick pause here. I've had moments on my GLP-1 journey where insurance changes or rising costs force me to look for a new provider. And honestly, that process can feel very overwhelming. But that's why the Plus Sides podcast has partnered with GLP Winner to give our subscribers a resource to help them make that decision easier. GLP Winner is a comparison platform that lets you explore telehealth providers in all 50 states, whether you're looking for brand name medications or compounded options. You can see pricing up front, read reviews, and get a clear picture of which provider might align best with your needs. Check it out today at glpwinner.com/plus sides. That's glpwinner.com/plus sides. Don't forget the Z. Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again. And the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through the same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need.
20 seconds a week to lose 20% of your weight in a year with diet and exercise. That's the power of GLP-1s through Ro. Ro helps find the medication that's right for you, based on cost, availability, and your weight loss goals. Losing weight with GLP-1s is possible through Ro.
Yeah, so true.
That explains the whole regain and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're just stuck in this vicious cycle.
Yeah.
It's not has nothing to do with your willpower, right?
Right.
No white knuckling, huh? That's just not going to work.
White knuckle does just not work. Like you do it, but then eventually I feel like then eventually, at least in my body, I can do, I'm pretty tough, right? And I can do it. And then all of a sudden it's like my body tells me like I'm just going to say it, fucking starving. Like, and then it sends down my brain sends down like everything it can. We need that sugar drink and we need it immediately. And I literally feel like if I don't have it, it's all I can think about. It's like there's a girl that's in our community that posted this video of her talking about what food noise is like. And in the background, she's playing a very loud, like crowded restaurant and she's trying to talk through it. Right. But it's loud, crowded. Like that's what it was like all the time, you know? Yeah. Anyway, there's that. The food noise thing is intense.
No, I mean, it's definitely all those hormones that are, you know, not regulated appropriately. And it's genetic. Like some people are born lucky and they don't have to worry about those things. And I think that's why a lot of people who've never had any weight issues can't understand that because
yeah, they're like, why don't you just not eat?
Right.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my patients say like, oh, when they got on the medication, they'll be like, is this what skinny feels like? And I'm like, probably.
It's what normal feels like. But you know what I think is so interesting about our society is that like we all are everybody, we're very quick to accept and be okay with people that can eat whatever they want and never gain weight. But yet we will not accept the fact that the exact opposite is also true. You know,
Makes me think of those TikTok videos of people like a skinny, I'll say a skinny woman eating like just a table full of McDonald's and it's accepted and it's joked about. But you can imagine if someone like 70 pounds heavier than me, or when I was 70 pounds,
even my size, if I sat down with that, people
I sit down and record it. You're going to be, you pig, you nasty. Yeah. Everything. It's a double standard. 100%, Kim. 100%.
Yeah. And I'd be like, but it's like, if you think about it though, like, it's just, it's like a spectrum, right? Like and some people, you know, seem to, you know, just be able to metabolize and process the way that they're supposed to, you know, and 40% of people don't. Probably 70 if you really consider that 70% of America struggles with being overweight, you know?
Yeah.
70?
Yeah. 70%. 80% overweight.
I think what it is like it used to be a biologic advantage for you to be able to like store energy this way, right?
Yeah.
So that if we had a famine back in the day, like 100 years ago, if you were able to store energy, you were going to be good. You could go weeks without eating or eating very little.
You could just eat yourself.
But
that's what it is.
True.
Okay?
It's true. Oh my God. You just eat yourself.
Do you ever see that? Do you ever see that? The what Bring It On movie where he's like, cut everything you eat in half. And if you're lucky, your body will eat your ass.
I remember that. The spirit fingers.
Sparky Palestri. Yeah, Pulaski. Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know.
Tim, I appreciate it.
We have an editor. We have it. I'm just a little spicy today. Keep it.
So, doctor, can you explain to us what insulin resistance is and why does it make us so hungry? Could it be one of the causes for food noise?
Yes, it actually is, because what happens is when you eat, the sugar gets broken down and gets absorbed into your bloodstream, right? And once it's in the bloodstream, sugar needs to get inside your cells in order for the cells to function and,
Mhm.
metabolize energy and do what they're supposed to. And insulin is kind of like the way that sugar can be transported into the cell. Okay. So when you have insulin resistance, what happens is you need more insulin in order for that to happen. So in a way, if you're not getting the sugar to where it needs to be, your brain is thinking, I'm hungry, like I need to eat more sugar, because you need so much insulin to overcome that barrier of getting the sugar where it needs to be. And so people with like diabetes, for instance, like when we start them on insulin, it actually makes them gain weight, because insulin like actually has the opposite effect. So one
Wow.
of the things I like about these GLP medications is like a lot of times with the A1C going down, I can stop people's insulin, because insulin is meant to get the sugar where it's supposed to be. And when we're giving you high amounts, and people with insulin resistance make high amounts on their own. And so because they need to overcome that resistance to get the sugar where it needs to be. So yeah, you're right. It is perceived by your brain as like, I'm starving, because the sugar is there, but it's not getting to where it needs to be.
Speaking on insulin resistance, what are the blood tests to test on insulin, those who are insulin resistant, and how does that compare to, like, say, testing for diabetes?
So we don't actually have really good tests for insulin resistance,
Mhm.
because in order for you to get like accurate measurements, you would have to like inject insulin in your vein and then like be drawing blood very frequently and things like that. So it's hard to like really test. And
Hmm.
when I used to work in the hospital and I ever had to do tests where we had to check insulin levels, like it has to be very precise and you're checking like every hour. So that's not very practical, right? Like if you're having to check all the time. I mean, I guess if you have a Dexcom, you can kind of see what your blood sugars are doing and things like that. But we don't have an actual test. I tend to make the diagnosis of insulin resistance more with like clinical picture. Like, so if you are
Okay.
somebody who is overweight, you have acanthosis nigrans, like that darkening of your skin, or you have skin tags, or you have signs of inflammation or metabolic syndrome, then you have insulin resistance. So it's hard because we don't have a good test. We do have a lot of tests for diabetes, but I feel like those tests miss insulin resistance. And I'm going to explain why. So like, let's say that I don't have diabetes, right? And actually my A1Cs are fabulous, even though I have been overweight my whole life. But I do think I have other signs of insulin resistance. It's just my body is able to compensate for that.
Yeah.
Well, somebody with diabetes no longer can. And so then they do develop full blown diabetes. So I think that's the difference. It's like you're still making a lot of insulin on your own when you have insulin resistance, but somebody who's diabetic can't do that anymore. So we give them insulin. But you have all the same kind of symptoms because you both have insulin resistance, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
It does.
I wish there was a better way to test for it. Like
Yeah.
I did have a doctor tell me recently, that was an obesity specialist. She said that only 7% of people with obesity don't have insulin resistance.
Oh,
Only
Yeah.
7%.
wow.
Which
I
is
was
like
never
crazy.
diagnosed with that, and
Yeah.
my numbers were always good, but I always felt myself feeling tired throughout the day based on what
Mhm.
I was eating, and I've learned since going on Wegovy that was probably insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Like if I had a big breakfast, I would feel really tired after,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I come from a family, it's all genetic where everyone naps after lunch,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
that's definitely the insulin resistance at play.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes total sense.
Yeah, so many of us in the GLP-1 community have found that the therapies have helped with many other issues like insulin resistance, PCOS, IBS, and more. Have you found that the therapies have helped alleviate other issues for you as well?
Yeah, so for me, the main issue I was having, and which is one of the reasons I decided to go on the medication, is that I was having a lot of knee pain and joint pain
Hmm.
with walking, and I pretty much as like within a few weeks of starting the medication, it went away. And I mean, as I lose more weight, like the better it gets too. And so I think that was very important for me because, if you can't move your body or work out, then that's not good either. So that was one of the big motivations for me, actually. It's just being able to move my body and, ride my Peloton and things like that, which I couldn't do before because I was just in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to
Um,
move more when you can't move more.
Yeah.
Yes.
I tried so hard. Yeah. Well, speaking of, we know you love your Peloton. I love the cycle bar, which is the same, but I go and interact with people in person, sort of.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're on the Peloton.
Sorry. In person.
Person, yuck. We know that you're actively engaged. We're actively engaged in our fitness. What do you think about when people call GLP-1 therapies an easy way out, or simply taking the skinny shot? And additionally, what do you tell your patients that are torn and they feel like this is, are they taking the easy way out, or is this really just the skinny shot? Am I just skating by with this one?
So it's not a skinny shot, right? It's treatment, because obesity is a disease. And so I I really like to tell patients, like, I know people have made you think that it was like, an issue with you, right? You weren't working out, you weren't eating better, but no, it's actually a disease. And so I don't I don't think it's taking the easy way out. I mean, being obese is hard.
Yeah.
It's hard,
Yes.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to not be able to do all the things that you want to do. It's hard with other people looking at you or making judgments about you. Like, it's hard. So I think being obese is harder than taking a shot, to be honest. And it's not so much about size, and that's something I stress to my patients too. It's about getting more metabolically healthy, being able to be more mobile, being able to enjoy your life more, just having a more fulfilling life that maybe your obesity was preventing you from really living your life to
Mhm.
your fullest, right? It's,
Yeah.
to me, like, I will say 100, like 99% of my patients are not doing this for vanity. They really
Yeah.
just want to do things like
Yeah.
their kids, or,
Yeah.
around, like, they want to feel healthier. Like, I don't really have a lot of patients that are doing this just to be really skinny.
Yeah. It's interesting,
Right.
like, as I've learned through this, like, back to I had this very narrow view of insulin resistance and obesity versus, type 2 diabetes and all, and just realizing, that what we've learned in 3 seasons so far, right, is that this is actually the same disease, right? It's just different levels of progression, you know?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like with that
Mhm.
with type 2 diabetes, right?
Mhm.
And so it's like what we've learned is that, you know, over half of the people that struggle with obesity will become type 2 diabetic, you know? And I think that there's something people are missing about that. And I really feel like that if the shortages weren't so bad, you know, maybe there wouldn't be, so you're taking away from people that, should rightfully have it, because ultimately
Mhm.
Ozempic and Wegovy are the exact same medication. They vary in dose by zero point 0.4, right?
Mhm.
And I think, and they cost a lot more money. And there's this huge, like, I think, discrepancy that people think that people are trying to take this medication away from others, but they can't help that their insurance won't cover the Wegovy version, right? They can't, only
Yeah.
25% of insurance is cover the Wegovy version. So
Mhm.
they can't help that. So should they just keep being sick when they can take Ozempic and it's the same thing and they can get better? And, like, I think the answer is no. But the thing is so many people are just listening to, like, frankly, bullshit in the media about it. And it's so frustrating. And I think that even the doctors listen to that don't know much about obesity.
Yeah.
And then our people can't get care, and that's like something we do on the podcast is we create relationships with telehealths, and I vet the shit out of them and make sure that they're not, prescribing junk and,
She sure does.
things like that. And I think it's really important because, like, there's so many people out there that don't have access to obesity specialists. And
Right.
unfortunately, like, I know a GP can prescribe these, but there aren't a lot that will. Or there are a lot that will. I mean, we've had people come in my lives before and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sick as a dog. I've been in the hospital. I'm on Wegovy. It made me sick as a dog." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you feel bad. Like, what's going on? How can we help you and support you?" Right? Because clearly they were on it for a reason. And one of them, like, this happened several times. And she's
Mhm.
like, "Well, I started on 2.4." So this goes into the whole, I know.
Mhm.
Ah.
See, Pamela, we know. Yeah.
Yeah.
2.4 is the upper room. You don't start there. And there's a reason for that, right? Like you can't, it's not like that. You're supposed to titrate up for a reason, but like I would say regular doctors, but like doctors that aren't specialists for the most part, they don't know that. They're like, oh, there's a shortage. We'll just start you in the high dose. You'll be fine. No, you won't.
Well, even Pamela, she said, the doctor said, what dose do you want to start on?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And she's like, actually,
yeah. Actually, I have a screenshot of exactly what I
that's wild to me. What dose do you want to start on?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say endocrinologists have a lot of knowledge of these medications because they were the ones who started prescribing them for diabetes.
Yes.
And then some PCPs are pretty good at it, but not all of them. I mean, another thing I hear from my patients a lot is people who have battled obesity their whole life, and then their doctor's like, oh, we're just going to stop your medication once you hit goal weight. And I'm like, so they can gain it back? Like, you don't stop treatment of hypertension, right? Or treatment of diabetes. You're always kind of treating it. And so it's stuff like that I hear all the time. And I'm like, we need to change this because like you said earlier, 70% of people in our country are obese or overweight. This is only going to get worse if we don't prevent it. And then when you don't prevent, then you end up, I've taken care of patients in the hospital that are so obese that, I mean, they live in the hospital, you know, because they can't move, they can't breathe. Like, and even then I'm just like, we're not even doing a good job treating them. You know what I mean? Because we just don't, obesity medicine is a relatively new field. It's only been around for like about a little over a decade. And so I think that's part of the problem. I think the other problem is they don't really teach obesity care in medical schools. And then there's very little teaching that happens in your training, like residency and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done in this field, I think.
Yes. I think it's good to know that these tools do exist. I think the issue of having people to be on them, and I think figuring out what maintenance looks like for people, you know, is important.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, so I'm with Pamela. I don't really have like a weight goal or like, I feel very good. Like my scale, I've been on a very big stall for a few months now, and it just started moving again, you know, and I don't get on the scale every day. You know, I don't even get on the scale every week. And my inflammation is so controlled that I'm very active. You know, I feel good in terms of like my anxiety management and my like no issues with depression anymore or anything like that. And people are so easily will dismiss, well, you know, first of all, you should lose more because you're still obese. And they go back to like the BMI thing. And like, I think I really want to discuss that a little bit about like, we hear that a lot. It's like a lot of times people will, you know, that's how you're considered if you have obesity or not. We're trying to change instead of saying like, I am obese, saying like, I have obesity. We're trying to change the way people talk about that. Because it's a disease and it's a sickness, right? Like you would say, I have cancer. You wouldn't say I am cancer. Right. So I'm trying to like, we're trying to like kind of change the way that is here. But like back to BMI, I would very much like for you to tell me why BMI is bullshit and why there are other ways to diagnose being obese.
So I actually have a body composition scale in my office, and that's why, because BMI doesn't tell you the whole story. It's a quick, cheap way of screening patients, and it's a quick way for insurance to say this is obesity, this is not, but that's all it is, right? Like I have a patient, for instance, the other day that I weighed in my office, and his BMI was 32, but he's all muscle mass. He's 10% fat, and so that's not obesity. You know, he's muscle mass. So the BMI looks really high, but he's not obese. And I'll have the opposite where somebody's BMI might be a little lower, but their fat percentage is really high. So am I not going to treat that person who obviously has muscle mass and has other signs of insulin resistance? So I really like to approach patients like holistically. And yes, I definitely use BMI as a tool because of insurance companies, but it's not everything. And it's not accurate for different and you know, like if you're Asian, for instance, your BMI higher, like if you're at 25, that's actually not good because most people in that ethnicity run lower. So it just doesn't, it's not the best tool. We should really be looking at the whole.
I love that. And I think that, you know, figuring out, you know, back to like what maintenance looks like. I recently, I was even telling my therapist, I'm a big therapy person. I can't believe I waited so long to go to therapy. It's the best thing ever.
It's expensive, but it's important. And learning about like, just sort of why, I mean, there's been so much about understanding why I did like ate the way that I ate before. So, 18 months now, and I have not had any issues with binge eating. And I think that I've just sort of come to this like conclusion that I don't think I had bad habits ever. I think it was all just a symptom of my disease. Because as soon as we treated the dysfunction within my body and made it work right, I don't do any of that anymore, you know? But I also do think that it's okay if I am metabolically sound to go through a drive-through with my kid and get some French fries. I think that I deserve to have a rich, full life as much as anybody else,
Mhm.
you know? I
Mhm.
mean, the difference is I'm just not going to eat 2 things of French fries and nuggets and a burger and all these different things that I feel like I need to have. And then in 2 hours, feel like I have to eat again,
Right.
and I don't have that anymore. And the only thing that makes sense, right? If you look at the data and that experience and you put them together, is that I was just a sick person that needed medicine, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what everybody is. And I just am so thankful to have, everybody here with us that's willing to like shed light on this conversation,
Yes.
and hopefully we'll have more people here because unfortunately the way that the narrative has been spun and things in the media, and I think there are some media that are trying to spin it right. Likely because I can say it is my podcast, likely because they're funded by big pharma, but what else? I don't care. Fix it, whatever.
Yeah.
And, but the problem is that I'm tired of people that are sick, right? Not knowing they're sick and continuing to have blame and shame, like just like Pamela was mentioned with her mother to the end. And I can't stand it. Because there's just, these medicines are for everyone and they don't work for everyone, but they work for most people that are sick with this particular disease and disorder. Right. And I can't stand to think that like there's so much doctor aversion because people who've struggled with obesity for a long time, gone to doctors, so many times and have them tell us eat less, move more. It's you go for a broken toe. Oh, it's because you're fat. Like you go for whatever. It's because you're fat. Like I had a doctor come in one time and say to me, like I had never even met her before. I was like 20. And she came in and she was like, your weight's a concern. Not even a fucking hello. Sorry, but I'm just saying. And, not even a hello. And I was like 20, and like, obviously, like, but could we shake hands? Like just things like that. So it made me avoid doctors. So I know there are people out there that are sick with this disease that blame themselves, that think I've tried everything. They've given up and they're terrified to go to their doctor and they're terrified to get on these medications because people have made them feel like their butthole's going to fall out. Like I was saying earlier, like, and I just hoping that, and it seems to be working. Let's keep doing it. Is, having the tough conversations and seeing the hard things and educating can help. And so I'm thankful for you guys talking about it on your TikToks, for you talking about it here. And thank you so much for, recognizing too that, the doctors that are surrounding you, your peers, like they don't have it together and like trying to make a difference. And I just appreciate it because it's not easy. Like advocacy is hard. Activism is hard, and there's just so much hate and so much ignorance, and it can make you want to give up. And so just every day that you don't, just know you at least have someone out there, 3 someones. And we're thankful for you talking about it,
We appreciate you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank
this
you.
discussion. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed sharing. And
thank you.
I never got to talk about the media literacy piece of it, but I was a journalism major and I really have felt like that has been the biggest tool in my toolbox to staying on these medications is understanding media literacy, knowing to understand the source and where the article's coming from to dissect the article and understand what they're saying. And it's you're all constantly up against these things and out in the world that are trying to stop us from this great thing. And I really appreciate you guys spreading the word so consistently and getting the truth out there about it.
Thank you. And thank you for being a part of it. Like our podcast is volunteer and everybody contributes, to the piece. I work for a big company called Red Hat, and everything we do there is community driven. That's how I got the idea for the podcast, right? Is that we build everything. So like Red has a tech company and developers all contribute to projects. And then those projects become products and we productize them and solve major problems all over the world. And when I knew I couldn't do a podcast on my own, I knew I couldn't. I have a full-time job. I have a special needs son and a special needs husband. Like there's no way, and I was like, how do I make this work? And it's because of people like you that come on to make this content possible, so it's a big deal. And I just want to make sure I said thank you for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. You guys, I will exit you stage left, but I will, it would be weird to stay because I'm just going to talk behind your back, but in a good way.
We're official members of the Plus Size podcast now.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are.
Gold.
Awesome. And I will
Thank
send you guys
you.
clips and all the things. So if you can share about the podcast with your crew so people can
Yep.
know that there's a safe place to come. I keep the comments really safe here. There is no bullshittery allowed. Like I don't like the algorithm ride like we do on TikTok. They're gone. So it's a safe place for them to come and like have community. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank
Have
you.
an amazing night. Yay.
Thank you.
Oh my God, that was so good.
I loved it.
It was amazing.
Gosh.
I loved it.
Amazing.
I love it. We had 2 new friends.
Yeah, I
And the
loved
right?
it.
Pamela was
Just
so
members.
articulate. Oh my gosh, that was really good.
Yeah.
The pudding comment just still sits with me. Her
Yeah.
grandma did not, her mother.
Mother, yeah, she's been struggling a lot with that. Like that's the thing is, it's nice to be able to see some people that create other kinds of content start to be like, this is kind of a big deal. Could we talk about it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I remember when she first shared and opened up about it, she was like, I haven't talked about this because I didn't want this to become my identity. And I'm like, I can relate, because it kind of is. It's a big, huge part of my identity. I don't see another way. It is for me, but she's been talking a lot more and more about it,
Good.
and, but anyway, I just thought it was really good. And this is the shortest podcast we've ever had.
Yeah, we were
Everybody was so succinct.
Yeah.
thorough.
Yeah. Even me, I didn't even run off at the mouth too much. I can when I get all fiery. Only
More
like 2 F-bombs. This
More
episode,
passion.
which I feel like is good.
More energy. More energy.
That's my favorite.
More footwork.
I love when you do that.
I do.
More passion.
More energy. I love it.
More energy. That's Kim. I love it.
Yeah,
Well, it is. Yeah. More
Yeah.
passion.
Well,
all
we already
have that.
talked about your NSV, which is awesome. And we always like to end with either an NSV or a quote, words of wisdom. So we've got yours, Kat. What about
I've
you,
got-
Sabrina?
Thank you, Sabrina.
Do you have an NSV or words of wisdom? Or
I
both?
do. I
Okay.
have
What is
an NSV.
Yay!
I bought this shirt at the beginning of my journey.
Mhm.
So, right when I started a GLP-1.
Yeah.
Because I said, oh, if, not if I ever get into this, when I get into it. It is a size large. And
What?
Heck yeah.
That's so cool.
I can't tell you the last time I was in a large.
Yeah.
So this is a size large.
And it's adorable.
Give to it, too.
We need to get you a good camera so we can see all the light and you can show us the size
I'm
large.
sorry about the lighting.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Actually, it's a lot better. I think it's good. I'm gonna send you a camera though. I have one that's really good. It's called Yeah Link. I'm gonna send it to you. And it'll be good. Because it's a really good one. And then it won't constantly do the light thing.
Go the
You
in
know?
and out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's
But
just your
that's
camera adjusting for whatever reason.
It's ridiculous.
That's
I
what
hate
it
it
is,
so much. But that's
Kim
my
recommended
NSV.
the light that I use, and it is really great.
Yeah. Yeah. I was sort of making a joke about the movie. What's it called? The cheerleading movie? Bring It On.
Bring it on.
But there's that part where he talks about your stomach will eat your ass, right? I always wonder, I can't. We talk about, listen, you eating 1,000 calories a day is not a good thing, right? But I really wish I had asked her. I had to ask the doctor, if someone's eating 1,000 calories a day or 1,500 calories a day, but they're living in a bigger body, they're probably losing weight. But if they're losing at a decent rate, right? Because I went through that for sure. and still do. I still bump around, especially since 15. But I still bump around a lot. But I'm wondering, like, is that okay? And how long is that okay for? You know what I mean? Like, I think no one's really talked about that because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one that doesn't eat enough. I don't eat enough. Like I do eat. All of you that are listening, I do eat, but I don't eat enough. And I don't think everybody eats enough. And I think that's because a lot of times, because we think, because of diet culture, that like 1,000 calories a day, 6 days a week in the gym equals not lazy and fit, right? Equals not fat and lazy. And so like, but I have to force myself to eat. That's always been my struggle, is getting in enough calories, because I'm just uninterested and I just continue to fill my life with non-food things. But I need to also eat the food things, but my rate of loss is good. My rate of loss is healthy, but I don't think a lot of people talk about it. And I know that there are people out there that aren't eating enough. They say it in my lives every time I do one, right? They're like, oh, I only eat one meal a day. Like, and today, like I had, like full disclosure, I had, my protein coffee, which I do every morning. And then I had a pretty hefty lunch. And what I mean by hefty, here's what I'm saying though. Just like this, like a perspective thing. I'm trying to I'm hoping people will hear, is that I made like this gluten-free, like bagel thin, ham and cheese sandwich. That's it, with some mustard. And then I made like a can of gluten-free soup. That was maybe, like, if you add that together with it's 8:00, right? If you add that together with my breakfast, and I'm not hungry, it was hard for me to eat all of it, really. Maybe 1,000 calories. Maybe. That soup is like 150. That sandwich was probably, I was like, I got to get in the protein. I'm going to get it in, but it's a struggle. And so now, like, at the end of the day, I'll probably go and eat like a boiled egg or a protein bar or both, like, because it's not enough food. I am noticing too, I don't know if you guys have this at all, but I sort of like accidentally intermittent fast, because I do find that like the last 3 days of the injection wearing off before shot day, I'm way more hungry and I eat more like 2,500 calories, on those days, if not a little bit more. So I think it kind of all balances out, which is probably why my rate of loss is what it is. But there's not enough doctors talking about it.
I think this, we need to definitely pose that question, because I don't struggle with that.
I know you don't, but a lot of people do.
Honey.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I've just took my shot injection. When did I take yesterday?
Yeah.
So
I think that's the leptin thing with you, though. Like what we talked about with Dr. Ali. I think that's the leptin resistant with you. Remember Dr. Ali talked about that with you?
Yeah. It's honey. Yeah. And the exercise, things kept up.
Yeah.
Am I in phase 3?
And like I'm in phase 3 too, I think. And why you're always hungry, especially after you exercise, because you exercise a lot,
Oh my God.
I know.
Are you hungry too, Sabrina? Like,
because the weight training, right? Like,
Yes.
I don't do a lot of cardio, but the weight training, because it's constantly, your metabolism is running for.
Yeah.
It wants protein. It wants to be like,
it's
I feel like
nonstop.
gonna geek out. You're going to geek out at that episode with Dr. Ali.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I want to hear it again.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
it's rough. Like, I get really, really, I mean, like, there's times where I'm like insatiable, because I just, but I'm weight training a lot more now than I was before.
Yeah. But you do need all that. I think and that's the mind shift, right? Is it's okay for me to eat this. I actually need this. Like, and not I deserve this, because I do think that's sort of like a thing we all struggle with too, right? Is I'm eating this because I deserve it, because I worked hard. I think it's more like you don't have to earn your food. I don't like that mental piece of it, Anyway.
Well, that whole part of, I no longer like, I've noticed with being on a GLP-1, I no longer have like an emotional attachment to food, right?
Yeah.
Like, I do it as it is just fuel,
It is
fuel, more
That's how I see it too.
for more energy to lift more weights.
More energy. More yeah, exactly. Honestly, when I'm eating, I'm actually bored. I feel like a cow chewing cud.
Yeah.
It's like, and I know people think like, oh, that's horrible. It's not. It's really fine.
You know,
I don't.
it's just I eat for fuel. That's what a lot of people eat like that.
And you know,
Right?
I still get like the night cravings for food, for
Really?
sweets especially.
I
But I
really think
know,
that's
well,
the
when I was on
leptin that she was talking about.
vacation, I
Mhm.
had my little s'mores and my hot chocolates because I was at very
Why not?
cold Lake Superior,
Yes.
right? But now when I'm home, like, girl, go to bed. You're just tired.
Go to bed.
Take it upstairs. I'll be perusing, looking for chips. I'm like, girl, go to bed. Go to bed.
Sometimes
But
I think it's
mouth
the
hunger,
ADHD.
right?
I think the ADHD
You
thing.
think
Like,
so?
I need to put some. I
I
have it.
I get
Yeah,
late
my
night
apples are
snack
done. My
cravings. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hit that the other night. All I wanted to do was snack, and then I was like, "Drink some water. Are you dehydrated?" And I chugged a
Yeah.
bunch of water, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to snack
Yes.
anymore. I was like, "Yeah." So I don't know what was going on, but
Yeah.
I was
Well, it
like,
was a signal, right? Like I still think our body is trying to send us signals to nourish it, right?
Mhm,
Yeah.
And so like
I
I find that too. And sometimes my signal is nausea.
Maybe it.
mhm.
Maybe it.
And that
Huh.
means I need to eat, and then I will eat. And then
So your old crutches don't like
what?
exist anymore. Like the old crutches. Like I want
Oh, on
some
shot
chips
day they do.
on shot day.
Sure.
Like,
When
oh, I
my
want.
shot wears off, those things are there. Like but I still have a wall, you know?
Oh,
Um
100%.
So that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. Like I catch up on my calories as the week progresses, right? So I think that's why I've been losing it like, one
Yeah.
to 1.5 pounds a week on average, which doctors are like thrilled with, right? Um, so I think that's why I just sort of I think I accidentally intermittent fast.
I
But
get it.
I want to
That's
do
me.
we need to have someone on to talk about fasting. I think it's important. This has been a lovely conversation. I think we learned a lot. I hope Pamela, I don't know if Pamela's had a chance to meet with obesity specialist or anything. So hopefully like she felt good, but it sounds like I like her mind. It's very investigative. Like she was saying, and the journalism thing does not shock me. Like
Mhm.
she's very much like I like her. I think that's why I've always followed her because she's inquisitive and she kind of challenges the status quo.
Mhm.
And I like that, you know? And so I just think it's really fun that she's one
Yeah.
of us.
Her month on
She's a GLP-1 evangelist.
She is.
Yes.
I asked her if we were going to pop up on her month in TikTok review for the month of March. So
What? Oh, yeah.
TikTok in review
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
each month.
I was like, wait, what?
They're pretty funny.
Yeah, we're a trend. Sure. That's it. We're a trend. We are a
Award-winning
trend.
trend.
We're a trend turn movement, bitches.
Award-winning trend.
Award-winning trend turned movement. That's what we are. We are award-winning. Darn it. Anyway. Okay. Well, it's been lovely. We will wrap up. We know all of our NSVs and all the things. And we will see you guys next week. And until then, you're not alone. It's not your fault. We'll see you.
And hasta la pasta.
Hasta la pasta. Of course.
Bye.
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 Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was telling Kat how I was regaining weight after my 100-pound loss using GLP-1 medications, and I was having snacky cravings and waking up at 3 a.m., and I had hot flashes, and I was worried. But Kat was like, listen, I went through this last year. It's perimenopause, and I started HRT, and she used this company called Winona. So I started going there to see if this was something that was going with me. Turns out it was, because I'm 46. And it's been amazing. It's taken a while to find the right dose, but once I did, it's just been huge. I've been sleeping. I feel more myself again, and the hot flashes are gone, which is, geez, really bad. So I will tell you, it's just been so big for me. And so I wanted to partner with them on the podcast because obviously many of our listeners are going through this same age range and definitely are having these issues. And there's just no need for you to suffer. So if you go to the link that's in our link tree, you can click on that and save money. If you go there and you meet all the criteria, and this might be something for you to try. So I just want to make sure you had this great resource because it's just been such a big difference for me and Kat. Again, you can go to the link in our link tree and get what you need. Today's episode is brought to you by Ro, a telehealth platform that's changing the game of GLP-1 access. What sets Ro apart? Ro understands the challenges of navigating insurance hurdles and the skyrocketing prices of GLP-1 medications. That's why they specialize in getting insurance approvals for GLP-1s. And if insurance is a barrier, they go a step further by prescribing brand name zepbound vials for prices close to those of compound GLP-1s. With Ro, you're not just getting a prescription, you're getting a partner in your journey that's helping you access affordable treatment and guiding you every step of the way. Whether it's insurance approvals or cost-effective alternatives, Ro is here to make sure that you get the medication you need. Visit ro.co/plussides with a Z today to see how they can help you take control of your weight management journey with affordable, accessible care. That's ro.co/plussides with a Z, making healthcare work for you. Check out the link in our show notes for more details.
Are you interested in understanding GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro? Then join us on the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, the groundbreaking podcast helping people change their lives one episode at a time. The Plus Sides podcast is a disruptor. We're breaking down barriers, smashing stereotypes, and sharing inspiring stories that'll leave you feeling informed and empowered. Join us every week to learn from doctors who are specialists around GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro. They'll provide you with science and facts to validate these incredible stories. But that's not all. We'll also bring you the voices of the GLP-1 Mounjaro TikTok community, real people who face the challenges of obesity-related diseases and disorders and discovered the incredible plus sides of GLP-1 medications. Our episodes are filled with heartwarming stories, laughter, and moments of triumph. You'll connect with our amazing community members who are reclaiming their health and experiencing their fullest lives. Are you ready to embark on a journey of discovery and empowerment? Tune in to the Plus Sides, Cracking the Obesity Code, and together we'll change the narrative around obesity and end the stigma. Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform and join our incredible community. Let's celebrate the plus sides of life together because every story deserves to be heard. Every life deserves to shine, and everyone deserves access to expert knowledge and medication. The Plus Sides Podcast. You're not alone. It's not your fault.